5 years ago, I was in a really serious car accident. We went under a 7-ton truck, rolled twice, and the driver was decapitated. It was considered one of the worst accidents in New Zealand where someone survived. 3 doctors told me that I would never be able to have children. So I had a child for every doctor that told me I couldn't, because I hate being told what I can't do. So over the course of 20 years, I had 8 operations. I didn't recover very well, and I had showers of blood clots in my lungs. And so I spoke to a friend of mine who was a medical doctor but also practiced Ayurvedic medicine. And he recommended that I find a natural source of high alkaline water. He said that it might be able to get my body back into some kind of balance. I didn't really know what to expect at all, but eventually what happened was that a client of mine said, I know this old guy, he's got his own private source of very alkaline water out of a very deep underwater aquifer. He's only giving it to cancer patients. He might give you some. So I'm like, oh God, yeah, definitely sign me up. After about 10 days, I had all these little bumps coming up along my arm and along my jaw that were really painful. And I knew my body was detoxing something. Over the course of day 10 and day 12, 27 pieces of glass came out of my arm and my jaw, and they were from the car accident that I was in 20 years prior. This particular water that I was drinking had not only a higher frequency, a higher electrical charge, a higher pH, a higher amount of clarity, but it also had its own vibration, its own frequency. We all have our own individual piece of music that every single cell in our body is playing like an orchestra. And when I drank this water, it was almost as if it gave my body an entirely new type of song that my cells registered, understood, and absorbed. And it restructured them, it rearranged them in my body. It was almost as if this type of water had gone into my cells and hit such a high note that all the glass that was in me was pushed out. Dish of the water that had helped heal my body, and I would set some kind of an intention and I would freeze it and I would see what happened. I started to take influences. For example, I can take a photograph of a person and I put the petri dish of water on top of that photograph, and it will show the person's face, that person's features, and each one is relative to that photo. I asked the water, I said, do you know who I am? And then I froze the water, and I was flabbergasted because there was this VA in the ice. My name is Veda Austin.